Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching a video called Culture Shock Hiking in Germany versus USA.
Hello everyone, it's Lee here and I'm on a little walk with my dog Mocha outside of my house here in the countryside of Germany.
Okay,
and
so he's in Germany.
I just want to talk a little bit about hiking in Germany and maybe compare it to hiking in the United States, like what I was used to when I grew up. Literally stepped outside my front door and just went for a walk. And here I am out through the woods, the forest, farmland, the countryside. I've got my dog. My dog Mocha has not been on a leash since we left the house. I have it with me in case we pass someone, and I need to put her on there. But for the most part, we walk out here, and Mocha's back there, and typically she never goes on leash. She's just free. So walking,
it's a beautiful
hiking, wandern in Germany is almost like a basic human right. And so there are these trails all throughout the countryside, and you hit these trails and you can walk for miles and miles and miles, kilometers, and then they connect to other trails and you can walk forever. So there's this huge trail network of interconnecting trails from the countryside. So yeah, you just leave your house and you walk. And I would imagine that if you mapped out the trails correctly, you could probably walk from my house in Western Germany near the French border, probably all the way to Berlin, Munich,
crazy.
Wherever you wanted to go in Germany. And then some of them connect, like their trails across the French border, and you can walk over and
oh my god,
yeah, so
just walk with friends.
You know, like someone's right that they have to be able to get out in the countryside and walk. And even in the big cities, they have parks, huge parks with trail networks, and you can hit those trails, and they have bike trails that connect to other trails that go out to the countryside. So bunny rabbit. Now this guy does not look like a wild rabbit. I mean,
what? It looks like a rabbit.
Like someone who escaped from. It's like a rabbit that escaped from someone's house, someone's farm, or something.
Oh,
but
no.
He certainly is just sitting there kind of chilling out. He doesn't want me to get too close, but
obviously
he's not running away very fast either, so I'm not sure what his story is. And now my dog, Mocha.
He's no longer a wild rabbit's gonna run.
Mocha is up chasing something. I don't know. Yeah, so here we are, not too far from the highway. You could probably hear some motorcycles and cars down there, but
that's near the highway.
Out here in the middle of the forest in Germany. I've got a lost or sick bunny rabbit behind me, and my dog is running around the woods trying to find something. I'm not sure what she's looking for, but she doesn't even seem to know that the bunny is there. She's not much of a hunter.
Thankfully.
Mocha? Now, when I grew up in the United States, and I lived there for many years, I grew up in the country. I grew up in a little town in the country, and my parents live in rural Arkansas now, and there aren't a lot of people around, but I tell you, it's kind of difficult to hike there because there's highways and there aren't any real specified places for people to walk. There's fences, you know, you can't cross through people's farms and on their fences. So hiking, from my perspective in the United States, is normally something special you do, that you make a trip, you go on vacation, you know, maybe you know, you go to a national park and go hiking, or to a state park. You go somewhere special to hike. You don't just do it from your backyard, right?
This is Mocha, a beautiful countryside.
Mocha likes it out here. She's quite fond of the German country trail system. You know, we've got a little, if you can see that up there, we've got a little hunter stand. A lot of hunting out here. A lot of little deer. They call them ray. A lot of wild boar. There's also
really
an animal that looks like what I call a bighorn sheep. They call it mouflon. Sometimes I'll see herds of those out here, maybe 20 or 30 of them. So they're out here. There's a lot of hunting. There's a lot of different aspects. So, and here we've got some fruit trees, and it's It's a little past the season right now, but we got some apple trees, just delicious apple trees. And I mean, people just walk by and pick them. I pick them sometimes and eat them. I don't know if no one really seems to care. So, but yeah, so you've got fruit trees, there's plums, there's pears, all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. It's not the Alps, it's not the Rocky Mountains, but it's pretty nice, if you ask me. And then to have it right outside your front door is really something pretty special, I think. All right, y'all. So this is Lee, and hope y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, so it wasn't about, I thought it was going to be more about like people in general, but no, it was about like the actual process of hiking. And I think it's very like, yeah, it's very different. And I do like what he said about like in Germany, the culture is just like a hiking culture. You don't need to like make a trip out of it. It's like, it's right in his backyard. Like you could just like walk, like I'm just walking around my neighborhood and that's your neighborhood. You don't need to like walk, because I think in the USA and I think in some other countries, a lot of countries, I think, when you're going hiking, I think it's a process of you like getting in your car and also going actually like physically going to the place where you're going hiking, which I know it sounds a little like, well, it's silly, right? Like that's like you want to hike because you want to be like in contact with nature, but you have to actually like get into the car to actually like go to the place where you're going. But apparently in Germany, and I know some other places are not like that, especially like in rural areas in some other parts of the world, like hiking trails, just like, again, like he said, you could just like walk. You don't need your car. You can just like walk 5 minutes into like the pavement, and then it's going to be like this beautiful hiking trail because it's a mountain. So I really do love that aspect of it, of like, you don't need to get in your car and then like go hiking. You could just go hiking whatever you want to, and you could just do that, like, you just walk to the hiking path. And also like, obviously it's very beautiful. I do like it was very like, in a woods part, like there was like actual trees and stuff. But then he went out and it was like a clearing, and he also had like fruit trees, like he saw fruit trees, but I think there were also sort of like actual like farmland and crops. That I was super interested to find out, like, is it like how the distance between those two places, because they looked completely different. Like, how much did you walk? Like, is it like 5 minutes, 10 minutes away? Or because it looks like a completely different area. And also he did mention that the highway's nearby, and it's like, wait, it looks unreal because it looks like so full of nature. You get all these trees and everything looks so like pleasant and beautiful, and like apparently the highway is like very close, but it's like you wouldn't know, which I love, because obviously that's the whole point, right? You just want to disconnect from like city life and the stress of like, the hitting the pavement. But they look like completely two different places, and it was in the same like hiking trails. But he also did mention that there were like a lot of hiking trails and paths that were interconnected. So I don't really know like the distance between like those two places. I wouldn't maybe it didn't give me vibes of like he walked a long time, because it didn't have like a backpack or something. He was just like, again, just like walking around your neighborhood, maybe like an hour and a half, something like that, and you're just gonna be like in this incredible like beautiful places, very distinct places that they're very nearby. And also obviously like the fact that you can have like your dog just without a leash and it's gonna be fine. It's normal. Your dog can just like also walk the path with you, and he doesn't need to be on a leash. Love it. Love the little rabbit. And I was like, well, but it's a wild rabbit. And he was like, no, I get what he was saying. Like, it's not a wild rabbit because it looks like he's just like chilling there. A wild rabbit obviously is going to look at you and it's going to run the opposite way because it's not used to people and it's not used to humans. But maybe it was a rabbit of like someone keeps like as a pet on your farm. Maybe he did escape. And hopefully the rabbit is okay. I love the little dog, Mocha. Now at first I thought it was like, oh, he's like chubby because he was like walking very funnily. But I think it's just like, no, he's not chubby at all. He's just like a pretty large dog that walks a little funny, but he's not chubby. He's super in shape. So I love the little dog, Mocha. But I also like, it's super interesting to me, and something that I don't think a lot of countries have, and I've never really heard of it before, that they have like, obviously you have paths, hiking trails and paths that are interconnected. That really does happen a lot in like mountain paths, because obviously you need different trails, and you get to the top, to the summit or the top. That's just normal. But I didn't know that he was like, you can also like walk to France, which I think it's very like, wait, so you can just like go to another country? That seems insane to me, and that seems like a very foreign concept to me. The fact you can just like trail around and then like go to another country and then like return in the same like in the same path, like that's crazy. And but apparently like it's a thing, and also the fact you can just like go almost like cross country from one end to the other, just by hiking trails. That's also like, what, it's insane to me, and I don't think that, I've never heard of it before, and I don't know if Germany is the other place where that happens. But I'd be very interested to find out if it's a normal thing in other countries, and I'm the weird one that has never heard of it. But it looks very like, why that seems like weird, but also like I would love to do something like that and be like, well, just go cross country. I'm wondering how many people actually do that, because how long it's gonna take you? I'm guessing it's gonna be like a trip. It's going to take you a few weeks, maybe less. No, I think it's probably going to be a few weeks. But I'm wondering if people do that often, if they go like in camping trips, and it's just like going through the hiking trails, and you go to like one end to the other. You go to the west, from the west to the east, and vice versa. Like, or it's not a thing. Maybe it's like, no, it's there, but people don't really do that. But it looks like a fun trip, right? A fun camping trip. But yeah, this was very interesting, and yeah, it's very beautiful. I think Germans are very lucky to have this, like he said, like in your backyard. You don't need to make a trip out of it. It's just like walk down your front door and you have this. Like, they're incredibly lucky. But yeah, this was incredibly interesting and very pretty, very beautiful landscapes. But that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.